Ever think how the vanilla setup is a little bit
Flawed.
maybe needing a few more tools made out of a few more items, and maybe even a slight improvement here and there? Well, look no further. You have found yourself CoFH Vanilla Plus Tools. So, what do we have here? We've got a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. You see just some diamond variants here, but that's not all. So, first, I should mention it adds a bunch of tools, as well as different materials for each type. Let's open this satchel up here, and you can see that there is a lot to look at. Basically, it takes your vanilla stuff here and adds in some extra options, as well as some new tools and some different materials. Now you see at the top here, we've got some wooden items and we've got some stone-made items. Both of these lines are turned off in the configs by default, but if you turn them on, you can obviously craft them. They're a little bit cheaty for early game and therefore make a lot of the later game stuff, I don't know, really, really easy to get at that point. So therefore, these are turned off by default. But we go with the vanilla variants, and then you've got your new options down here. These are the things that are brought in by default in the game, and that is hammers, excavators, sickles, gold and diamond variants of shears, as well as iron, gold, and diamond variants of fishing rods, shields, and bows. Now, each one of these might be familiar to some, if not most. Otherwise, they have some special abilities in some cases, some that you might not even be aware of. So let's look into this. To start off with, making a hammer. Recipe is going to be relatively plain. It's kind of like just a bunch more stuff. Excavator, then you've got your sickle, and of course, you already know all of the standard recipes here. If you look at the shields, they're all pretty much wrapped, the questionable material wrapped around the shield itself, as you can see here. And then, of course, you've got bows and so on. And for those that are curious about bows made out of like metals and such, I have shot them, and they are a thing in real life. So maybe not stone ones. I can't imagine a stone one really working that well, but still, the rest of them should be feasible at least, I guess. I mean, I can't say that I've shot a golden bow, but that's kind of weird. But anyway, either way, it's Minecraft, so therefore there's a lot of artistic license being taken when it comes to the things that some of these can do. I've got a diamond fishing rod. You're not going to find those every day around in everyday life. But let's get back on track here, and we'll start off with over here. We've got your different enchantability levels of each type. You've got your vanilla setup, your traditional wood tools that you normally would get. Usually enchantability is around 15. If you go with something made out of stone, it's 5. Iron is 14. Gold is 22, and 10 is diamond. Now this kind of looks a bit iffy, but if you've ever enchanted something with Minecraft, then you're familiar with some of these ratios, and you know that gold is usually the best, and diamond and iron are both like the second best ones. Now, it all depends, though, on other things that you can or cannot do. So let's talk about some of these items and what they can do. Obviously, you've got your plain ones. The shears, I'm not really going to get into too much. Basically, your gold ones, they've got a very low durability, but you can make shears out of gold. Diamond, they're going to have a lot more durability than iron. That's it. They don't do anything really functionally better than the other ones, just last a lot longer. Same thing with the shields. They pretty much just last a lot longer, and I will say that they look much cooler. So if we get into something a little bit different here, we've got bows and fishing rods. Both are traditional Minecraft items, but they function slightly different than you might be used to. So let's start with the fishing rods here. Now, if you look, I've got kind of a setup here, a little bit interesting. Your vanilla fishing rod here, and this represents luring abilities. This represents the luck of the sea. Now, there is a built-in modifier on a lot of the fishing rods and how they work. Now, of course, you've got your stone one, which is turned off by default, but it will get you, just by crafting it instead of using the wooden one, it has a built-in lure ability, which just basically brings in more stuff that it will catch. And then it also has a built-in luck of the sea-like ability. Yes, you can still enchant these with these as well, which will further increase it. But by doing this, it will increase its percentage of getting better stuff very minutely, and start reducing the amount of fish that you get instead of like good items as opposed to trash items. And so if you upgrade that to an iron fishing rod, it's got the equivalent of Lure 2 built into it, and Luck of the Sea 1 built into it. Then gold will have a Lure 4 effect built in. Pretty crazy. You'll get lots of fish, but it's not going to give you any benefit for like finding special items or something. That's where Diamond Fishing Rod comes in with a Lure 3 effect, which is almost as good as the gold. And Luck of the Sea 2 built in. So if you enchant this with a bunch of the other options as well, you're really going to have your vanilla fish farm, going like high speed crazy town. So that is kind of how I mean, and yes, it doesn't really change too much with how it works. You throw it works just like vanilla, and eventually you'll get yourself a fish. There we go. And in this case, it took me way too long to demonstrate that. So therefore, thanks to the powers of editing, you did not notice any time difference whatsoever. So let's move on to the next item here, and that being bows. Bows have changed a little bit here as well, and this is going to be a little bit confusing, but I hope to at least communicate the idea. Now, as I said before, stone bows are turned off by default, but I will still give the stats for those in case you so decide to turn those on in your mod pack that you want to play with. And then we've got iron, gold, and diamond. Now, of course, as before, you're going to have different durability values. Wood is going to be low, stone better, iron even better than that. Gold is going to be worse than all of them, and diamond is going to be the best. So after that, which that pretty much applies to all of the different tool types, but if you go with the bows, they have special built-in abilities as well. For instance, a stone bow will have 50% more speed on the arrow shot from it. Let's try that again. The stone bow will have an additional 20% speed applied to the arrows shot from it, and an extra 25% damage on arrows shot from it as well. If you move up to an iron arrow, it's 30% increased in arrow speed and 50% damage increase. Of course, a golden bow is going to be super fast. You're going to get 60% arrow speed to shoot, but it's going to be your standard vanilla damage rate. Now, a diamond, of course, 40% arrow speed increase and 75% damage increase, which is going to be really tremendous. Obviously, you can do quite well with an iron bow, but yeah, a diamond one definitely going to be lasting a lot longer and give you a lot better use out of it. So let's get into some of the other tools that we have here that obviously is going to be the focus of what everything that people are interested in. And that's going to be these three here. We've got the hammer, the sickle, and the excavator. Now, the excavator, as you might expect, when you use it, it will dig in a 3x3 area. You can actually see it highlighted on my screen here very quickly, because this one is diamond, of course. And you've got your different levels that you can use on there to remake them in, building slower and whatnot for diamond or gold, iron, etc. But that's basically it. If you want to use it on a single block, you just press sneak, and then you can break just a single block. Very basic, and that's pretty much how most of these other tools work as well, like the sickle and the hammer. But before we get into the sickle, because that one's actually really, really cool, the hammer is what everybody is really wanting in this. And of course, you're going to want as much durability as possible, because every block you break, whether it be with a hammer or sickle or shovel or shears, whatever, every block you break, even if it's in an area, counts against the durability. So if I'm breaking a 3x3 area with a hammer, which one might expect, actually, I think I might need the sickle for this next bit, then it will reduce the durability by that much. So let me put this one back down. We're going to cover the sickle next, because I actually need it to get to the area I'm going to show you. So how it works is it actually breaks on a plane, basically a flat area like this, in a 7x7 area. So 7 across, 7 deep. It's not going to go high or low as well. It's just whatever area you're covering. So if I click here, and that's a left click, a right click doesn't work unless you've got auto harvest turned on in your mod pack or whatever. But if I left click, you'll see a whole bunch of stuff jumps up into the world. And that was a 7x7 area. It works really good for clearing out spruce wood trees and so on, like this here. As you can see, it took out a big chunk there, and it was really, really fast, because of course that one is diamond. But you see I got 9 and 8. Let's actually shove these in here for a moment, just for future use, so we can compare. Now let's go over here. I've got one with Fortune 4, Efficiency 6. Yes, I've got mods in here, don't worry about it. But it basically will allow me to try and harvest a little bit faster. Now, why would I want to harvest faster? I'll show that to you in a moment, but for now, just remember that it has fortune on there. That looks like a lot more drops to me. Let's pick all these back up. And we've got 30 seeds and 7 wheat. Now, there's some wheat in there, 8 wheat. So let's go over here, and you can see we got about the same amount of wheat, but we also got a hell of a lot more seeds. So this might apply a fortune effect to some of the items. Not all, but some of the items if you use it. But it is enchantable in many more ways than what I'm showing you right now. Now, how else can it be used? Well, let's go downstairs so that I can actually show off the hammer as well. If I open this up, we have a bit of a spider problem in the basement. Not to worry. We have efficiency on this thing, and therefore I can harvest spider webs practically with just a single click and get all the items. Now, there was actually 13 web blocks there. You're not going to get any benefits from the fortune on this one, but it's possible you might get it for some of your farming needs. So that pretty much is the sickle. It's going to be very useful, highly enchantable, can even be used as a weapon with like vorpal enchantments and stuff like that, but it's crazy. So let's go with the hammer. Now this one here has a ton of enchants on it. It's soulbound, insight, unbreaking, fortune smelting, efficiency, crazy stuff with a little bit of some of the CoFH core enchantments as well, like smelting and of course insight and soulbound. But anyway, if I use this, it simply will break in a 3x3 area. And yes, it's going to be absolutely nuts with how fast it's going to break things because of all the enchants that I have on here. But you basically are seeing this. And of course, if you want to, you can just use it to click one area and dig one spot. So this can easily replace just about any of your diamond picks that you might ever want. You can apply Silk Touch as well as you see this case it has smelting applied. It will automatically smelt the cobblestone into stone, and the coal blocks are just turning into regular coal. If I were to use this to harvest a tree, it would actually work to turn that wood into charcoal as well. But yeah, anyway, that's just some enchants that come with the core mod for CoFH. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's really nice. It's a vanilla feel, kind of finishes off the rest of the materials that you have for your vanilla set. So you can have one of each kind that you want. You can even turn on the configs and have some cheaty starter stuff if you really wanted to. And that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to give a like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget that we do also do some streaming, and you can check us out on Twitch and YouTube Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Also, potentially Thursdays and Sundays for some Dungeons & Dragons. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys. Whoop, whoop. There goes my backpack again. In the next bit by bit and or episode on our channel. See ya.